Greetings, my noble knights, it is I, Blaze Templar, and as you can see, we actually have a new battle today, and that is none other than some UU, underused UU, or UU, or whatever, and Cats and Goose versus myself, Type 1 Lead. I switched the screen around. Anyway, he led Cypher. I kind of looked at his team and went, Chandelure hits most of it for pretty good damage. So I led Scarf Chandelure, hits everything pretty hard, and just went straight for the overheat as it would just maximize damage output. Scyther goes down instantly, leaving Scissor a great opportunity to come in. Unfortunately, Infernape I don't want to mess with, so I'm going to go right into Quagsire. It basically deals with any set barring any nasty plot Infernape set, so really good switch there. Slowing this down a little bit, I apologize. Just go for the Scald, knowing it's super effective, and if he switches, I might get a Scald burn, which would be nice. I didn't want to risk him going into Empoleon and wasting a Toxic turn, so that's why I did what I did. But in comes Pidgeot, and this thing actually is quite a threat because of that Mega Pidgeot with no guard Hurricane, except he has Air Slash, which confuses me. But I just throw the Toxic. I know I need to weaken this thing a little bit just to take it down a little more effectively. It has a great speed stat, so now I'm just going to go into Mega Scissor. Or, well, it's not Mega Scissor. It's, Frostberry, I believe, just so if I get burned, I can deal with it. Anyway, it's doing enough damage that I have to switch, and I'm going to my specially defensive Celebi. He goes for the unstabbed Heat Wave. Could have just Air Slash, he would have done more damage anyway. But I take that pretty well, and now I can pull another switch into Chandelure, kind of predicting yet another Heat Wave, as it is a pretty good play for him. Not as good as Air Slash would have been, but, you know, I had a feeling just by the way he was playing that he'd be the best. And now I'm just going to go into Celebi to EV U-turn. I was kind of just sending Celebi in as Death Water, but this is actually good because it'll let me get my Leech Seed and my Stealth Rocks and stuff up. He does Sword Stance, which is kind of sort of threatening, but I do have the Leech Seed up, so a little bit more health. I'm just going to let Celebi die though, as he doesn't have a Defogger, it looks like. And he's going to knock me out with the knockoff, which is unfortunate. But that's okay. Gonna go into Quagsire as I am unaware, so even though knockoff won't get rid of my leftovers, which is unfortunate, I can recover up, and we're looking pretty good, especially with the Leech Seed. He may want to stay in and Sword Stance, not realizing I'm unaware, but it doesn't look like he's going to do that. Goes into Noivern, works for me. I'm going to Scald, try to get him another burn. He still don't get it. I was having awful luck with burns. That Air Slash does a ton, if that was... I wasn't sure what he wanted to go for, so I just went for the recover. But with Air Slash doing as much as it is, I just kind of have to let something die. I really don't have a switch into flying types, as you can see. I've set a Scissor, and he doesn't appreciate it, and he's more offensively based. So now I can go into Heracross, just go straight for the Stone Edge. Nothing at this point will enjoy taking the Stone Edges too much. Mega Pidgeot comes in and dies to the rocks. So, it would have been nice if it wasn't, because I think Choice Scarf Heracross outspeeds Pidgeot, but I'm not sure, so it's probably good I got the rocks in. But I can just go for another Stone Edge, Togekiss goes down, and we're looking pretty good now. In comes the Infernape. Don't know why he isn't going into Empoleon. It's kind of obvious of Choice Scarf, but I missed the Stone Edge, which is unfortunate, and down goes Heracross, which is awful. But that's okay. I still have Chandelure in the wing, and he pulls a switch, which at this point is not the best idea because a couple of Shadow Balls he killed, and he would have been better off saving his Empoleon, letting Infernape go down, and then go into Empoleon and go to the Aqua Jet and hope for the crit. But he knows he's lost at this point, so he does swap to the forfeit. I apologize. I am having a horrible time talking today. The weather's just kind of awful, so it's not helping. Anyway, we are going into the next battle. This is actually another one of the UU matches I had while on vacation, just like the first one. I'm basically trying to get through all my vacation matches before I start new ones. Anyway, I go for the Stealth Rock. Boom Burst hits pretty hard. This is a specially defensive wall Celebi. Unfortunately, I'm not running Recover on this Celebi. I'm running Heal Bell, so that's kind of dumb. I did end up changing that later on, but it doesn't help me here. So I do slap up the Leech Seed just so I can bring something in, get a little bit of residual and recovery, and I do U-turn now. The Scavalier takes the hit. Alright, no problem. But in comes Chandelure. Nothing on his team really will appreciate the overheat. So I believe that's what I go for. And even though Klotzer resists that, that's 50% of his health just knocked away. So I'm going to go into Celebi, predicting the water type move. And because of everything, I don't really want to switch into a dark move. I could go into Hydreigon, but this is actually okay, as without his Klotzer, Chandelure really does threaten the rest of his team. So I can go into Hydreigon here and go for the Dark Pulse, just take it out. And actually, Hydreigon does threaten his team pretty well too, so works out alright. But in comes Altaria. I don't like seeing it. I do have Scissor though, which is a great Pokemon for this Altaria. And even if he wants to try to set up, that's fine. I'll outspeed via priority and just destroy with a Bullet Punch. But he has Roar, which is confusing, but it does force me to Quagsire. It does force me to Heracross. I don't want to stay in Heracross, so I go into Quagsire, as Unaware means even if he does keep setting up, it doesn't matter. And he does go ahead and slap up the Iron Defense, or the Cotton Guard, which is really annoying, but again, not too big a deal for Quagsire. He's being Quagsire, unaware of what you're doing, and so it doesn't matter to him. But now I'm going to Encore, force him into the Dragon Claw. It'd been amazing if I had done that to him when he was Cotton Guarding, but in this case it's actually for the better, because if he did Cotton Guarding, I'm sure he would just immediately switch. This way I'm racking up Toxic damage. Gonna recover off, he is switching now, as I go for the Scald, just to try to speed up this process. And I actually get to pop the Dragalge's balloon, which is nice. I always love doing that. Not that I'm actually running Earthquake on anything. I do have Earth Power on Hydreigon, I believe, so there's that. But I don't want to stay on Dragalge. It's either going to hit on the special side or go for like Toxic or something. So I'm going to go into Scissor. Kind of serves both purposes, and I get a free Sword Stance. At this point, though, Technician Boosted Pursuit will hit like a nuke. Unfortunately, Escavalier takes it surprisingly well, but the second Pursuit is more than enough. I could have roosted there, but I didn't want to risk him constantly critting. I don't know why I thought that, but I did, so that's why I did what I did. But anyway, Boom Burst is going to hit really hard, and at his health, I think a Fire Blast will take him out. It doesn't quite, but I get the burn, so it doesn't matter. Well, it does, because I lose Chandelure, which means my best sweeping Pokemon against most of his team just died. But Exploud is down, and I can go into Scissor, as the rest of his team doesn't particularly enjoy Steel. And that's kind of Scissor's gimmick. Hitting really hard with the Bullet Punch. Avalanche doesn't do a lot, and now I can just go safely for the Roost. I feel pretty confident at this point. I got this game in the bag. All I have to do is set up to +6 and I won this. So I do go ahead and go for the +4, and it has Roar too. Well, Hydreigon. Fire Blast. Bye. This is a really great Pokemon in UU Hydreigon. It just kind of hits a lot of things really well. It's a great special attacker, and with its amazing coverage and typing, it's hard to beat Hydreigon when it comes to it. So I really enjoy using it. Anyway, he's going to go for a second Dragon Claw. I'm going to force him to keep doing that, just because I can, and I can recover off any damage he does send my way. And that's exactly what I'm going to do this turn. I really have no reason not to. And that puts me at 90%? Yeah, 90%. And so I'm looking pretty good at this point. I did lose 2 Pokemon, which is unfortunate, but, you know, whatever. I'm going to recover up to full as the Toxic takes out Altaria. Really, at that point, there was no reason to go for the Scald. But in comes Dragalge. This game is pretty much done. All I have to do is get into the right Pokemon without getting burned or anything. So I'm going to go into Scissor right away, kind of hoping he doesn't have Scald, because I actually think I was running Metronome at the time. So I didn't have a way, and that's why I had Heal Bell instead of Recover. But I don't want to risk the Scald Burn. I don't care if Hydreigon gets Scald Burned, though. And now that I know he's not going to go for the Dragon Pulse, I can just go straight into it, devastating Dragon with the Draco Meteor. And that is game. So, yeah. That's a max speed special attack set. I think it's Timid, running Draco Meteor, Earth Power, Fire Blast, and I want to say, I honestly can't remember. It's been a little while since I've looked at that set. Let me go ahead and take a look again. Here we are. It would have been Dark Pulse. That's right, Dark Pulse. At one point, I was actually running Flash Cannon, but then I went, wait a second. Earth Power kind of does everything that Flash Cannon does, but better outside of Mega Altaria. And I got Scissor, who kind of eats Mega Altaria for breakfast. So, yeah. And if it is more of a special variant, I have Quagsire for Toxic and Celebi to Leech Seed and all those shenanigans. So either way, it doesn't really matter that much. I can drop the Flash Cannon. Anyway, Connorful was another opponent I had. He leads Arcanine. I went Celebi, kind of wanting to get the Burly Rocks, but at this point, I can't risk it. Going to Quagsire, and Dark Pulse hits pretty hard despite it really not being a special attacker. That's cool that he's using special, especially offensive Persian Alolan form. Really cool thing. But I don't want to take the risk of flinching. Just go into Heracross. Poliwrath is a bit of a problem as I don't have any electric types or flying type moves. So, a bit annoying, but that's okay. He's going to go for the Sleep Talk sub, which confused me. What is this thing? What is it even? So, I don't know what its only attacking move is, so I'm just going to go for the Scald despite it giving him health back. And it turns out he has Focus Punch, which is... oh, that's a surprise. Anyway, he's going to show that, and at this point I know that my Chandelure can actually completely wall it, which is great. But right now, Recover is the name of the game. Gonna go into Chandelure now, knowing that the Grass Knot is incoming. And that still does a respectable chunk of damage, but I can just start spamming Shadow Ball, as nothing in this team particularly enjoys taking those outside of his Alolan Persian. But even that won't enjoy it because its special defense isn't really anything to write home about. That's almost a 50% knockoff of his health, meaning a second Shadow Ball will take it out. This is Choice Scarf Chandelure. Hits incredibly hard, but I don't really want it to take something like a Stone Egg, and until it gets weakened, yeah. But I see an opportunity where Celebi might be able to get some rocks up. I misplay that terribly, letting him get the Shadow Ball and the Magic Bounce, which is awful, but now I can just U-turn into Chandelure and just start spamming Shadow Ball again, as, like I said before, nothing really enjoys taking them. So, yeah, this is a great opportunity for me. I haven't really needed to trick my Scarf onto anything yet, which is pretty cool. It just does a really good job sitting there and destroying things, so, yeah. Anyway, in comes Quagsire. I know this thing will more or less wall a Golem, no problem. And so, now I can just go for the Scald. Kind of hoping for a Scald Burn. Don't get it, that's fine. As you can tell, my luck with Scald was absolutely awful. And I'm just going to send in Celebi as Death Water, really no point in trying to save it. But now I can go to Scissor. I predict him to want to switch, and Pursuit will be the name of the KO. I love that move, it's just great. But in comes Arcanine. Really scared of this thing, so I'm going to have to pull back into Quagsire. Thanks to leftovers, it doesn't matter that I took rock damage. But in comes the Decidueye. I don't want to take any time for Grass move. And so I go into the Resisted Hydreigon. Sinister Arrowroot actually hit pretty hard. That Z move really wrecked me. But now I'm going to return the favor with the Z move and Devastating Drake. Take out his Arcanine, which gives Scissor a great opportunity to come in and sweep. And Connorful knows that, so he decides to forfeit at that point. So, yeah, that worked out pretty well for me. I love Devastating Drake at certain points. It's still... I'm not a big fan of just all-out attacking Z moves, but as you can see, they do serve a purpose here and there, especially on a mon like Hydreigon, who just needs a little extra oomph to get around certain Pokemon. So it works out pretty well. Anyway, Ashua, I don't even know how to pronounce that name. But anyway, Old Timer and I are going at it this time. You once again, Ferroseed versus Celebi. I know he's going to get a lot of hazards up. It's annoying, but I don't really care. He goes for the knockoff first, which does surprise me a little bit, but that does mean I can go straight to Hydreigon as he sets up the spikes, and now I can just Fire Blast. And I only get a single layer of spikes on my Subtle Field, which is honestly surprising. In comes Volcanion, though. and I can just go straight for the devastating Drake. Earth Power would hit pretty hard, but I just want to ensure the KO on Volcanion. And he actually quit. Oh, I guess that was one of the quick matches. As you can kind of guess, I'm just grabbing basically all of my vacation ones. Wow. Well, I guess that counts as a 6-0. I guess maybe he's just scared of Volcanion or of Hydreigon. Awkward. Well, that was one battle I wasn't planning on putting in. I forgot that was one of the battles. Regardless, we'll keep moving. Forget that. Go into Nidoking. I do lead Celebi, especially defensive wall, can deal with Nidoking pretty decently. And now I can take the overheat. Not well, but I take it, and Leech Seed will put me at a health point where I could take another, but I am going to U-turn straight on out, go into Hydreigon as I resist the overheat. Not that it matters because he misses the second one, and that puts me in a nice situation. And oh, these are the ones where it was just kind of dumb. Okay, I apologize. I literally just grabbed all my vacation ones. And as you can see, this is when I got my Chromebook set up for the first time kind of thing with the new account. So I can't really verify the validity or... Oh, this one. I played awful in this game, that's right. So I lead Celebi, he leads Tentacruel, and it's not a good match for me. But I do want to make sure that the Pokemon that I get set around are right status, so I'm just going to basically sit around and get most of my Pokemon poison over Toxic real quick, so his Toxic types don't have much value. But in comes Scald, which is awful. As you can see, I'm kind of playing terribly, but I think, you know, I have the Ross Berry now. I can set up a Swords Dance Ruse. If he burns me, that's fine, but I can... Oh. I go down. And now I'm kind of fed up and tired, so I'm just going to go for the Earth Powers. I really want to kill this thing at this point. It's just super annoying. I Dark Pulse just in case he decides to switch up his Pokemon. In comes Scizor, the Alolan Scyther, and gets roasted by the Fire Blast. In comes Aggron. Mega Aggron won't appreciate Earth Power. It takes about half his health. And Dragon Tail. So Hydreigon gets me back into the game. It's unfortunate that I took as much damage as I did. I was playing awful. Stealth Rocks get set up. I don't have my Rocks up, which is awful. But in getting the Aggron burn, always nice. And now he doesn't have enough health, and I'm able to recover. Putting him down to 10%. His Scald will take him out at this point. And just judging by everything, he was probably going to Dragon Tail there because they outsped him that turn. Here comes Lumiere. I don't really want to switch anything in. And so, yeah, that didn't end well for me. But now I can go for my own Shadow Ball. I am Choice Scarf, so unless he's Scarfed, I'm going to take him out. And if he was Scarfed, he wouldn't stay in because, you know, grass. But at this point, Cut Rotom takes pretty decent damage from the Shadow Ball. Unfortunately, I go down to the Thunderbolt Toxic combo. But at this range, Heracross should be able to do some damage. Unfortunately, there's a Gliscor right there. I know I can't 1v1 this thing. All I can do is make sure it doesn't get a sub, basically. And he's going to actually knock my Choice Scarf off. Whatever, not a big deal. I just want to ensure that he doesn't get to have a free substitute. And he gets a substitute. The weird thing about this battle, which it took me a couple watches when I was actually on vacation to realize, he's not running Poison Heal, but he has a Toxic Orb. So anyway, just devastating Drake. Adam West, no way it's going to survive. And so that's game. I played awful there. It was a really close game because of it. Put me into the 1200s, so that's something. But, you know, regardless, like I said, these are all my vacation games that I had. So, yeah. Anyway, fixed my Sprite, which is awesome. Drampa lead versus Hydreigon lead. Also, definitely in my favor. And a Devastating Drake only does about 50%, but to combine that with an Earth Power should be able to take it out, but it doesn't because it's specially defensive. It's like running max special defense, max HP, but add in a Dark Pulse that takes it out. Shaman comes in, it's going to miss the Seed Flare, and I'm going to be able to roast that thing nicely. Unfortunately, because the Seed Flare, I take a ton of damage from it, or from the Acid Spray. I take a ton of damage from Seed Flare. And couldn't reach out. I really don't want to take anything from this thing. It does High Jump Kick. I thought because I had Chandelure he wouldn't want to do that, but that's fine. Celebi kind of deals Alright, now I can just U-turn. Turns out it's Rocky Helmet, interesting. But in can come Scissor and set up. Unless this thing is actually running the Whirlwind, I have a free opportunity. Turns out it has a Whirlwind. Unfortunate. So at this point, I'm going to just get some Leech Seed off to kind of help whoever's in on this thing. This Mandibuzz actually gave me some trouble. But Drampa comes in. Guess it doesn't want to let me just set up for free. And I predict him to... I'm going to slow this down a little bit. It's going a little fast for me, unfortunately. I predict him to want to stay in, kind of just to kill Celebi, so I Leech Seed there just to get it off. But he switches back into Mandibuzz, and now I can U-turn safely. Take some Rocky Helmet damage again, which is unfortunate, and go into Scissor. This is mostly to just directly threaten this thing. Turns out Leech Seed no longer gets defogged, which is kind of cool. But Salazzle's going to switch in, and I do Swords Dance, kind of optimistic, I guess, but I can't stand, obviously. I don't want to take a Fire move. Fire Blast actually hits pretty hard, which is unfortunate, but now it's my turn to go for the trick. It failed because it's running Sea Crystal, and surprisingly, I actually survived that. That's the thing that really got me, but I have to switch. I know it because trick, and I'm just going to send Celebi in to die at this point, unfortunately. I could have gone into Quagsire, but I really didn't want to take a special hit like that. Heracross can deal a lot better, and I want to get a kill, and I'm being a little bit obvious, but, you know, that happens. Quagsire can come in at this point, though, as he roosts, and I'm kind of going, you know, Toxic sounds like it'd be great to get off on this thing. It does look like it's going to try to wall me, but I go for Scald. The Salazzle's coming in. But in comes Drampa instead. As I do go for the Toxic this time, it would have been nice just to go for the Toxic the first time, but this will put Drampa in a more difficult situation. He can send Chandelure in his Death Fodder. Takes a Draco Meteor, which is Death Fodder at this point, so I hope that -2 special attack was worth it at that point. Anyway, in comes my Hydreigon, and I'm going to Draco Meteor, get the revenge kill. Oddly enough, Hydreigon's still kind of being my cleanup mon on this team. Unfortunately, I no longer have my Ghost type, so I kind of have to let something take a high jump kick. And Quagsire is going to be the choice, because it's my defensive wall. Unfortunately, because min max damage, I get knocked out by the second high jump kick, so I couldn't recover. But I can go into Heracross, and I think I just go straight for the close combat, yeah. Which at this range is pretty good damage. Not enough to take out my Mandibuzz, but maybe another one can KO. I mean, kind of happened with Quagsire a moment ago, and that's exactly what happened. So Heracross gets the knockout and gets the Moxie boost, which is huge. And because of that, Salazzle's kind of in a roll, so I decided I'm just going to get as much damage off as I can, but he switches into Mienshao, probably predicting me to want to switch. Not happening, and I get the +2, and at this point it's a guaranteed one-hit KO on Salazzle, and so he does forfeit, and so that did push me above that 1200 mark. So yeah, the last game I have from the vacation is this one here, and so I lead Quagsire predicting pretty well, I'd say, except not really, and Latias comes in and makes my life miserable, so I have to switch. I know this thing likes to carry a grass move like Hidden Power Grass, or more likely Energy Ball, and that's exactly what happens. So I take that really nicely, and Ice Beam is pretty common too, but this is my special wall, as I mentioned, so I take that pretty nicely. I get my rocks up for relatively cheap. A little bit of health, but that's fine, and I'm going to take some more damage thanks to the Ice Beam, and I'm just going to U-turn straight on out and get some damage off, which actually hits a lot harder than I was expecting. So Heracross comes in. Mega Horn will dent most of his Pokemon pretty decently, so I go for that, and actually, yeah, works out pretty well there. So in comes Scyther at half health. I should be able to take it out, but I don't want to risk it, so I go into Quagsire as it can deal with any Scyther set. And as demonstrated, that's exactly what's happening. He does roost back up to full, makes sense, but I am going to go for the Scald. I am really hoping for a burn, and I finally get one on after all these games. And so that's nice, meaning Scyther is basically useless at this point, but I'm going to force it to keep doing Aerial Ace because I am just a bit of a jerk like that. Anyway, I could switch in a scissor and set up on this thing, but I don't really want to do that because then it would encourage him to actually switch. So that's why I'm not switching here, and just kind of baiting him to keep going for that aerial ace as I recover stall him. Honestly, it's kind of obvious that Scyther isn't too useful anymore as it is anyway if he tries to switch out and dies. So there's that too. So any way you look at it, Scyther's basically done, and Encore's ended, meaning he could roost twice and get back up to more or less full, but I'm just going to Encore him again. So if he does decide to roost, he's going to have to keep doing that, giving me an opportunity for Scissor to come in. But he does aerial ace again, and I'm just going to recover back into full as he gets knocked out by his burn. So yeah, Scyther didn't get to do much that game, which I'm okay with. In comes Metagross, though. This thing actually can be a big threat. Thankfully, its Mega is banned to Ubers. Meteor Mash does get the boost. Not that I care, and I'm going to go for the Scald. Again, kind of fishing for the Scald burn. Don't get it this time, and I decided, you know, it'd be nice to lock him into a single move so I know what he's going to go for. And that's exactly what happens, especially if he wants to keep Meteor Mashing, or if he wants to go for Earthquake. And because he does go for Earthquake, Hydreigon is a perfect switch-in, as it has Levitate, hits really hard, and that's what happens. In comes the Aerodactyl, takes 25% from the Stealth Rock, and Fire Blast does a good 30% on top of that, so he's not looking terribly healthy at this point. Mega Arrow comes in the game as well, and of course, Dragon Claw not really doing that much. Arrow really has no reason to stay in on a Quagsire. It really doesn't. I mean, Hung Claws, all it'll do is help your accuracy. Ambipom comes in though. He knows that it's kind of pointless for him to keep staying in, and I get a free Toxic off on Ambipom and some Stealth Rock damage, so it works out pretty well. But I need to switch. I don't really know if it wants to go for like the Tail Slap or some kind of like rock move or something. So I decide Scissor over Chandelure as I don't want to take any kind of rock moves. Turns out he does just go for the Tail Slap, and so I know I can go into Chandelure now, nice and safely, and so unaffected by that Tail Slap. And now, with that in mind, his health has been whittled down on the switch to a point where a Fire Blast will easily take it out. Metagross comes in. I'm not really worried. The only thing that can stop my Chandelure from wrecking is if I missed. So I do go into Quagsire just in case. And he Earthquakes. So, you know, if I missed my Fire Blast, that would have been awful. But Meteor Mash comes in, I'm recovering. And at this point, it kind of is just whatever I feel like doing to this thing. So I'm going to force it just to keep Meteor Mashing. Yes, you can get your boosts if you want. I'm just going to keep scalding, hoping for a burn, and he realizes that this is a game that Quagsire will win every time, so he decides to forfeit. Understandable, and that is game, putting me at about 1240 on that game. So, yeah, I realized that this wasn't quite the normal recording that I was planning on doing, but they were a bunch of games that I had on vacation, and I just wanted to get through them because pretty cool stuff. Some of the games were kind of pointless, but that was a nice little 6-0 ending, so I guess it ended on a kind of neat note. But regardless, if you want me to post some of the footage and pictures and stuff I got from the vacation, let me know in the comments section below, and I will go ahead and do some more Pokemon Showdown stuff in the near future. Also, we'll probably start organizing a new tournament in the very near future as well. Probably not Pika Cup against it. As much fun as that is, that was a blast. But we'll probably make that like an annual tournament, the Pika Cup. Anyway, I will talk to you next time. Later.